This is the KitchensinkWP podcast, episode 361.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology.
Why, hello everyone. This is Adam Silver, the host of the KitchensinkWP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one event, WordCamp India, online of course, January 30th through February 14th. That seems really a long time. It's true because there are 3 weekends in a row they are doing the WordCamp. That's right, 3 weekends, January 13th through February 14th. So check that out if you want to participate there. That's it for upcoming events so far. One thing I want to mention here is a job. My buddy Jamie Curry is looking for a lead developer over at his company called Membersplash.com. There's a Join Us page, and they're looking for a lead developer. They are growing. They're looking for help. If you're looking for a job, check them out. And I think that's it for the jobs. Yeah, if you have a job that you want to share, by all means, let me know, and I will share it here as well. All right, moving on, segment 1 in the news. One thing to talk about here, which is that Whitehouse.gov has once again chose WordPress. We had the inauguration back on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, and a brand new website went up, and it was done in WordPress. Pagely.com, the hosting company, had a nice write-up about it on their blog, so I'll put a link in the show notes to talk, so you can read about it there. You can hear what they had to say about it and all of that. And I think that's it for the news. Yeah, moving on, segment 2, meat and potatoes. This week, I'm talking about pricing. Recently, in a Slack group that I'm in, someone asked about pricing. And I did talk about this, and I know I did. I looked it up. It's been a long time. It's been since 2015, episode 82. So I want to revisit it. So with that said, there are 3 basic types of pricing that I kind of go by. There's hourly pricing, flat rate pricing, and retainer. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons to all 3 of them, starting with hourly. So it can be great if you're slow. I mean, I jokingly say if you're slow, but if a client keeps making change requests and you just work hourly, that's a fantastic way to go, I suppose. You're getting paid for your time. And many people start off this way. But the problem I have with this, what happens when you get better and faster and you have processes that you put in place and you cut your time to develop things in half the time? Should you get paid half of the rate for your knowledge and experience that you bring to the project? That doesn't seem fair to me. So that's awkward, I believe. I mean, or you can raise your rates. You can just raise your prices or have a baseline minimum 2-hour minimum, no matter how long it takes you. Again, it's kind of it's a weird feeling to go that rate, that way, I suppose. You can go project-based, which I also call value-based. It's the flip side of that coin. So in this case, and this is what we do, and I'll talk more about this in a second. You do discovery, you scope the project, you really figure out all the costs, the time, the tools, the team, unexpected issues. Maybe you need to hire a part-time person to come in to help with the project based on the project itself. And then you tally all that up. And then you add maybe some margin in there because, you just never know. And then you have to add a percentage for profit. People always forget about adding a profit center here because why we have our companies is to make money and have a profit as well, not just to cover costs, but you want to make money. So nothing wrong with adding a certain percentage, whatever that might be for you. 1, 5, 10, 20% profit margin is totally legit. So don't forget about that. Now, things to keep in mind are prices are going to vary based on who's doing the bidding. If you're a solo shop, one person, that price very well may be, let's say, half or less than half of my price as a small agency. And that's due to the fact that I have a team. I have to pay them. I have a designer, I have a project manager, I have a developer. I might have 2 developers for that case. Depends, again, on the project. If we're doing custom code, that might cost more expensive for me to outsource that and bring someone in. Now, could I do that all myself? I could. I choose not to because that's not my strength. I'd rather put the project together, manage it, etc. So keep that in mind. Prices do vary a lot. You might get somebody who comes in at $2,000 versus somebody who might come in at $20,000. What's the difference? Well, the difference is it's not the product at the end of the day. It's the overall cost of what it takes to run the business. Okay. So, and retainers are interesting here. It offers the ongoing relationship. That's really nice. Okay. These can be great as well. Pros on the retainer. The income can be predictable. Every month, you're giving up so many hours for so much money, right? You could charge the clients a little bit less if you want because it's an ongoing relationship. And that's kind of nice. So there's no issue to open tickets or bid on every project separately. They just open a ticket, and then you just do the work. So you might have a retainer of 10 hours a month, use it or lose it. That's what we do. We do retainers as well. And the hours do not roll over. I would say I'm not AT&T. I don't have that kind of depth to just, let the hours keep rolling over. So retainers can be great. The cons of retainer is technically you're on the hook. You have a long-term partner and they expect you to do something with them and for them. And it's about communication, clear, concise communication. If you have 10 hours on the books and they come to you at the last, 3 days of the month, if that happens more than once, I say something. I'm like, that's not really quite fair to us. Even though we'll plan it out better, have a better scheduling. So what we try to do is we check in with those clients as well. If we don't hear from you in the first week or so or second week of the month, we reach out. Hey, you have 10 hours. Do you need anything done this month? So there's that. And you also need to keep an eye on the work that you agree to do with them. Make sure you're delivering what you originally promised, and that it doesn't go out of scope originally. Like if you say you're going to do XYZ type of work and all of a sudden they want you to do data entry, well, that might not be what you do. I would highly recommend you keep up on that statement of work that you promised them. Okay, so now the question begs to be asked. How do you figure out your price? How do you justify it? Do you give clients the hours for each segment? So typically people look at others and charge similar. That's what I did. When I first started, I'm like, well, what does John charge? And I'll charge the same, or I'll be a bit less. I'll try to undercut him a bit, So did it work? Sorta, yes, no, maybe. Over time, I figured out what my life and my costs were and how they were different. And I raised them based on what my needs are, because my overhead and expenses are different than John's down the street or Jane in the next town over. Okay. Now, does that affect the clients I get? Does it do I book more work or less work? Yes, absolutely. But it's okay, because over time I've also learned that there's plenty of work out there for all of us. Abundance versus scarcity. Don't, in my opinion, be afraid of charging a solid rate for what you need to live by. Okay. So there's that. It takes time to figure this out, people. It really does. I consider pricing a bit fluid. I didn't even talk about productized services or offerings. I think that's a tangent here, which we don't need to go into right now. But it takes time to figure it out. You need to know what your costs are, what you need to make for yourself, for your family, for your situation. It's all different. So lastly, the takeaway I want you to take away, anything from today, is this. If you solve a client's problem, there's value in that. Charge accordingly. It's really that simple. Solve the problem, get paid for it. Okay. It's not that hard, but just don't give it away, and don't feel like don't be afraid to ask for the sale. That's what I want to say as well. Okay. There's that update on pricing. If you have any questions or contributions to that, by all means, let me know. I'd love to share it here as well. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. So this one is an oldie but goodie. I don't know. I saw this on Twitter somewhere. It's over at ZenHabbits.net /the-thing. So it's the thing. How to do the thing you're avoiding. It's by Leo Babuda. I used to follow him a long time ago. Saw this again on Twitter. Wanted to reshare it. I'm having my own issues with, getting something done specifically this month, like I mentioned, for the new year kind of thing. One of those projects I really want to push, my own thing. So it's really good to reread this. I'll put a link in the show notes. Again, it's How to Do the Thing You're Avoiding by Leo Babuda. It's just a blog post that he had. I'm not sure when the date was, but it's relevant to even now. I think I read this years ago. So I'll put a link in the show notes. By all means, I think you should check that out if you are procrastinating on anything. All right, that's it this week. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the SpeakPipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon. You want to sponsor the show, be a sponsor. Form on the website. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.